mean to me? What do you mean to me? But does this work? Only 'cause we never say what we think. Waiting for the perfect way. Time zone speak. Got me on delay. 'Cause across a million seas, would you do that for me? Goddamn road 3 times, and I'd run all the red lights across a million seas just to have you next to me. Paris and Tokyo, I'll go where I have to go. Screw geography, but would you do that for me?
All right, and we are back, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, we are back in live. Sorry about that, everyone. You are joining us here on the OEDL Season 3, Week 5. Just warming up for the second series of the day here with Nebula and Team Redacted. We just watched a cracker, of course, between Sad Boys V2 and I've forgotten the name of them just briefly, but the boys with
1620 Kings.
16, yeah, the Kings. Sorry, I was trying to think. Xavier and Andros' team. Xavier and Andros' team were the ones who ran over the top in game 2 there to level it up. But the series right now, we're moving on to obviously 2 different teams, and I just wanted to focus particularly on Team Redacted. Lose yourself, because they are new to the league in week 5. That's a bit of a story. They're replacing the team Item Breakers, who got sanctioned out of the league, unfortunately, for unprofessional conduct. But these boys get a chance to step in. And what do you think?
The name?
What do you think of their changes?
Okay. So I mean, I know Six and Maris. He's my boy. Season 1, me and him played together. Love Maris.
Yeah.
Ame, I think he's a good pos 4. I think Chinese pos 4, one of the better ones on the server. Gubola, I've seen in my pubs a bit. Not too sure on him, but MBTW I think was a sub last season for Spag's team, so there's a bit of history there. And AMG, I'm not sure if that's Jellyfish or I'm not sure, to be honest, but
yeah,
because it says Jellyfish on the thing, but I don't think it's
Jellyfish. We can't tell whether Zelly's playing today or not, but even with some subs, the team, they're unfortunately inheriting a losing record because they are picking up where Item Breakers left off, just the easiest way to admin the league, but game for them to step up and do it. And we talked about drafting scared or playing scared in the first series. They don't seem scared at all. They were full of fire on the pre-game screen, ready to mix it up with Team Nebula and, show them what they got. Team Nebula, though, looking in a stronger position. They're only just under the Kings on the standing table, maybe with the chance to overtake them after the Kings registered a draw there in their last series. They've got the players to capitalize if Team Redacted don't end up being the strongest opposition. Zemistry in the mid catches the eye, as always, but Spag as well captaining this team. You can't ask for much more.
Yeah, RYM, a nice up-and-coming POS 1 player as well. Friffles, I love Friffles, great player on the POS 3, and then H-Lord, who seems like a new talent as well. He's been playing really well recently, so they have quality on this team, for sure. A lot of potential. And then Zemistry experience, Spag experience, so yeah, nice mix.
You mentioned that the early part of the season, which we're sort of coming to the end of now, but it's about teams finding their feet and working out what strategies work for them. And, the first series kind of showed that, right? Like each game was one team showing their strengths. Where do you think Nebula are at with that? They've got a losing record right now. Can they bounce back? Are they finding their feet?
I don't know. They've looked a bit average the whole season. I'd say they're slightly above average, maybe as a team. They're good enough to snatch games, but they don't seem to be getting many of those decisive 2-0s or like competing with the better teams in the league too well. They seem to be a step below. Like I think they need to. They're looking to improve. I think going into the second half of the season for sure, step up their performance a bit.
Yeah,
they have
right.
big names. They have some big names. So.
Yeah, you kind of have expectations of a team with those names, but they're on the bubble right now of being in contention for the playoffs, right? And as you mentioned, even in terms of their standings, it's their play as well. You want to be at least splitting series with the top teams and beating the weaker ones 2-0. And that record does not look like they're doing that, right? But maybe this is their 2-0 here. If they can capitalize on Redacted, like this is a fill-in team joining halfway through the season, taking up the bottom spot. I don't want to cast aspersions on their players because obviously they didn't run up those losses. Item Breakers did, but Nebula have to be feeling like they're the favorites here, and we'll see how good they are at playing from in front. What kind of lineups they draft to capitalize on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there any signature heroes here you'd expect to see from them in the draft?
I want to see the Zemistry Silencer once again because I've been playing a lot.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, and look. I mean, you come into the tournament as a new, freshly picked up team, a lot of fresh faces, and you whip out the Timbersaw first pick here,
Okay.
First pick of the draft. So I don't know what I'm looking at, but is this a pos 5 Timber or like?
that might be a first in Dota 2, right? We've made a lot of core heroes do good honest work as supports, but Timbersaw, it's kind of antithetical.
It's interesting.
Maybe
it's cocky. It's bold,
they do have maximum tree clear against the monkey right now between the Jakiro and the Timbersaw. They can melt a lot of wood really fast.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that's what I optimized my whole draft around, but for an opening 2 picks, they've got something going on. Bands seem fairly standard so far. Removing the Viper now, though.
I guess it's good versus the Timbersaw, kind of. The
in the mid, like.
I don't know. Is this some like five roll flex Timbersaw maybe?
We'll see. Could be anything. Who knows?
I mean, Timber doesn't actually do that bad with MK Tusk, right?
Right? Physical damage, multiple auto attack heroes, right? This seems like the perfect counter.
Yeah, so maybe they just pick themselves into a good Timbersaw lane. The first pick Timber, we'll see.
Some really big brain drafting.
Yeah. Could be good, yeah.
And Nebula even removing heroes like Juggernaut. I mean, they have their Monkey King carry lockdown already, but, just in case you're wondering whether that might flex into a mid or some sort of other role, they're banning out a bunch of safe laners that would otherwise seem okay against Timbersaw. Redacted, meanwhile, targeting other counters. So, I mean, focusing on the hero that's on the screen already, but what else can they pick up? Timber Jakiro gives you a ton of wave clear and a fair bit of teamfight damage as well, a little bit of control. Seems like a fairly open draft, whereas Nebula, they look like they want to play a little bit how we saw the Kings just take out game 2 against Sad Boys, right? Like the kind of oppressive control of the map with low cooldowns and a lot of pick-off ability. That's what I see in Tusk and MK, right? Even MK as your carry provides boundless strike from the trees, can kill a lot of heroes that are normally safe from ganks because the stun is so long range and so hard to react to.
Yeah, definitely. MK more of an active carry. One of the better carries of the patch,
Clear,
I'd say.
And a fair bit
top 2 with Alk. I think he's right up there. Just cleaning games. He's so strong in lane, scales really nicely into the late game with the Ags, Battle Fury.
Alk's not banned. Could Nebula pick it up here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is the classic combo, right? With the MK.
Yeah, exactly.
You rush the Ags with MK, yeah, true. But you would be picking it into the Timbersaw, and that's just another hero that Timber's good versus. So you don't often see a first pick hero and then just get countered by it with all your heroes,
That's true. I mean, look, Timbersaw's an interesting hero like that, right? Because it's hard to lose a game to just a Timbersaw.
Yeah.
Like, even if you feed him out of his mind and the Timber's a good player, you really do need to have the right backup hero to step into the space Timber creates, kill objectives, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They follow up with the Lena, so they've got a really strong support combo, which is what we saw the Sad Boys lack last game. And if you do want to pick something greedy like an Alk MK, this is what I do it behind. Because these heroes can shove out the waves for you. They aren't necessarily vulnerable while they do that. You can turn and pick off any individual heroes that try and overextend, or try like Boons' Wyvern did in the first game today, really farm in the space that's available. You have some ability to pressure the map early, But that's going too far down one lane. I think there's no particular reason they would go for that. They might just be all out aggression on Nebula.
Yeah, potentially. It could be the Zim Lina as well. It's one of his specialty heroes.
Oh yeah,
so could look out for that. Doesn't have to be a +4. They have the Tusk 4/5 flex as well. We don't know where that's going, and the MK could even be mid as well. So we'll see. Or offlane. I've seen that quite a lot in EU. Ooh, Coddle.
Okay,
that's cool.
So that's one way to counteract the potential for an early aggressive lineup of Nebula trying to get some objectives off the strong killing heroes they have. But it doesn't necessarily help if they sit back and farm. I mean, you now have just an absolute surplus of creep clearing. With Timbersaw, I mean, he's the perfect hero to kind of like dive under a tower if you want to set up and siege on it, try and deathball a bit. Maybe they could go that direction depending on their cause. They've left themselves very open.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what to expect here. Maybe a spirit hero, something that can take advantage of the Coddle, like a storm spirit here could be good, or Ember. See nothing wrong with those two, just to abuse the chakra magic. But yeah, it's very open-ended right now. Hard to see what's coming. Like, there's a lot of flex in both drafts, so
yeah,
this next pick could be kind of telling from Nebula.
I feel like Nebula, they haven't like shown more in a way that can be punished. But, I mean, you at least know who their core is, right? You've got some idea of how they're going to play the game, and their supports are good at certain things. Whereas Team Redacted, I'm really curious to see where they go with this, because they are missing some key pieces, right? Like, their only control right now is, like, the Coddle, Slow, and Jakiro's spells. So they definitely need, like, cores who both take advantage of a lot of space, because these are not particularly greedy supports. I mean, they can be played that way, but in terms of, like, supports that really scale up, I mean, you'd rather have, like you said, a spirit hero than really leverage a ton of space and be greedy. But at the same time, they need kind of a playmaker, right? Because right now they've got Timbersaw, who doesn't really do that well past the laning phase, leading, running around by himself. You kind of want to be leading the team or capitalizing on another hero that has a stun. So we'll see what they do with that. Nebula pick up the Pangolier in the meantime. Leshrac banned out. And, okay.
Slug. All right.
We saw this hero struggle a little bit, picked it around this time in the previous draft. Obviously, different draft, different game. But do you like it here?
Not particularly. It's like, I mean, it's okay, but like something like a if they just put the Lina +4, it's gonna get punished really hard in the lane. I think he's got a Coddle 5. Right. Seems like a weak lane again, which usually doesn't bode well in this patch. I mean,
could be Slark Jakiro, right? That's a bit of a stronger lane.
Yeah, true. It could be the +4 Coddle. It's more likely, maybe. Yeah, I'm just not sure what to think of this draft right now. Very weird.
I mean, they have, if you're going for that, like last game, we sort of saw the Slark, the biggest reason for it existing seemed to be late game insurance, although the Anti-Mage kind of neatly put a bow on that before the Slark really came to be relevant. This time, at least, you have a ton of like counter push to make sure if you do decide to turtle on the high ground, wouldn't be my plan A in a game of Dota, but you've got that potential.
Yeah, you do, but Slark's like not really that hero that just like is the be all end all like late game hero, I don't think he's that kind of hero you pick that to do. Like he's more of a, you want to like have a good lane and be aggressive and run around with the diffusal. He's like a tempo hero, like he's not really that AFK farm type, so it's a bit counterintuitive, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out reasons to pick it right now, because I mean, like you said, there's the Lina stun that you can avoid. I guess you can avoid the snowball pretty well, but then there's things like the MK and the Pango ult that it doesn't seem like Slark's tools line up so well against.
Yeah. And you can dispel the Pango disarm, I suppose, as well.
Yeah,
which is kind of nice, but yeah, it's not great versus the ult, because you generally don't want to verse things that you can get hit by in Shadow Dance. Like it's kind of annoying,
Yeah, and there's a ton, like all of these hit you in Shadow Dance.
Yeah, literally.
And there's a ton of burst damage as well, which is not great for Slark either, right? Like there is a very real potential. This is the kind of hero that dies to like Monkey King Boundless Strike into like Blink Walrus Punch or something like that.
Yeah,
just like a couple of heroes can randomly find you in a side lane and kill you. And if your reason for going Slark over a different AFK farm like Spectre is because the Slark's more mobile, the Slark's got some tools he can kind of play by himself even if we lose the map a bit, not really against this team.
10 seconds
Yeah,
to go.
definitely not. They have a lot of catch here, a lot of mobility.
5 seconds.
Bans, I mean, I can't really put the bans together into a cohesive strategy. It's sort of targeting each other's mid heroes, but Team Redacted, there's always going to be some left in the pool. They go with the Quap.
They go with the blind pick Quap here. Interesting.
Yeah, okay.
So we either see a Zemistry hero, or they just put the Lina mid and pick a +4 here, most likely. So
Do you think Zemistry likes the Lina here against the Quap?
Yeah, it's one of the better ones. Lina should beat the Quap
5
up
seconds.
in the lane. And Quap is a pretty decent laner, so
Yeah.
I think you'd be happy. Is Puck banned? Yeah, Puck's banned. That's the other
Yeah.
go-to.
Yeah, a
see what
lot
they
of
got.
mid-heroes banned out. They go into silencer, so you do get to see
I
it.
called it.
Who's it gonna be?
I
Oh,
did
look, you
call
got
it.
me excited now. I'm happy to see this hero as well. It's a fun kind of call to watch because it's completely different, right? To all those spirit type heroes.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's skillless or anything, but it definitely does seem like another brain hero instead of a hand hero. You've got that big global ultimate as well as, just being this very static, almost like a sniper, right? You're just a right-click turret.
this
Yeah,
hero
transition
pumps a lot of damage, especially late game. Like, it's ridiculous how much damage this hero does.
Yeah.
So I really like this from them. It's not
Yeah.
great versus the Slark because obviously you can purge all your stuff, but
Hmm.
other than that, it's a good silencer game. So yeah.
Is it a worry as well if the Slark gets on you? Because that's the thing, right? Like if Silencer's just trying to pump enough damage that you can't stand against him, you've got this Slark as a natural counter to that. He becomes untargetable, and then you have to survive with your, wimpy, slow move speed turret hero against Slark just shredding you with auto attacks.
Yeah, that could be an issue. We'll have to see how the lanes play out. Really, I think this game will be heavily based on the lanes because
Yeah.
Silencer's a snowball hero, Quap's a snowball hero, Slark's a snowball hero, Timber, like they're all pretty much snowball heroes this game. So we'll see which way it goes.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's the kind of thing that you see often, right? Like people just pick heroes they're comfortable with. They back themselves to win the lane matchup that's, a little bit skill based, kind of close, and
Yeah.
then they just assume the game will play out from there. And you're not wrong to assume that, right? Like, good to back yourself, but only one team can be right in that situation.
All right, let's see.
Exactly. So hopefully everyone's got their pickle bets on. Thanks again to our sponsor, of course, here in the OEDL Season 3, making sure that, of course, we have a league to play in. And these players here taking advantage, in particular Team Redacted, who are walking out onto the OEDL stage for the first time. I mean, the draft, like you mentioned, is a bit hard to decipher, but it's not like any of these heroes telegraph obvious disaster. It's just, kind of a loose lineup, we'll say. Not a pocket strat.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like it is 6 of Maris on the offlane Timber here. First
Okay.
pick.
Damn.
Yeah, you love to see it, dude. Maris is a absolute chad when
Yeah.
it comes to these things. So, yeah, good to see.
Another player I had the pleasure of watching many a time in the LPL and casting alongside, Xavier and Andros and co. So, maybe we'll see him also pop off as those two did in the game before. Obviously, this is a big packed day of Dota. There's more series coming up after this. Some of the best teams in the league, cast by Ares and Fury. So stick around for that. But first, 2 delicious games of Nebula and Redacted as Spag leads his team on a fruitless foray into the dire jungle. So we're going to be splitting the bounty runes pretty even.
So they're tri-laning top here, or?
Yeah, it looks like the Timber's just
Or-
chilling safe lane solo unless there's a swap of some kind, and Gabala is in the bottom lane, which is
And away
something.
we go.
Yeah. Oh, nice steal ward from Arme there. Really
Yeah, big
annoying.
plays.
Especially as a silencer where you want to dominate the lane and you want to keep drawing aggro and stuff to pull it back
Yeah.
onto your... Like, to let you hit them more. That's really annoying for them.
Yeah, not going to be able to see the enemy high ground. The Corp's going to be able to control the lane much better, and you don't have to worry as much about ganks coming out from Spag, right? Because the tough snowballing uphill is also a danger if he starts roaming.
Yeah, but I think the silencer hero should fare well against the Quap.
A good block as well from Zemistry, so that early advantage not going to factor in. They're going to get a lot. Look at the glaive damage already.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude, it's so strong. I love this hero.
Just abusing this Quap already at level 1. I mean, we'll see how that lane plays out. Obviously going to take a little while, but the Silencer pick looking good right now. Meanwhile, in top lane, this interesting solo safe lane Timbersaw, a bit reminiscent of Moo, Digital Chaos type laning. We'll
Yeah.
see if Maris can pull it off.
Yeah, we shall see.
You got RYM Rim down the bottom on the Monkey King. I mean, this offlane Slark Jakiro, I mean, obviously, and the Coddle's in the jungle as well right now. Actually, trying to kill Spag's Courier does get it even, so that pesky Coddle just abusing the 350 move speed and running rings around the Spag Tusk. But try versus tri lane now, some real classic Oz Dota.
Yeah, very aggressive here.
Oh, Arme's Coddle
Arme's-
gets
yeah,
caught
Arme's
out.
dead.
Great boundless strike from RYM, just immediately spots that's a step too far, mate, and chops the Coddle down. So after the highs of that Courier First Blood, the lows of giving up actual First Blood to the enemy carry. Oh, no, sorry, it's actually the Lena who got a Monkey King just threw out the tip. So,
Yeah, I'm just most
Psychological.
interested in watching this mid lane right now.
oh yeah.
This is an interesting matchup. I'm not really... I mean, I think Quap doesn't do that bad. Like she can kind of fare her own.
That feels like that was why they picked it, right? Like, because Lena was already picked up, who's another classic, like, oh wow, Alma actually goes down again a second time in the bottom lane already. I mean, there are 3 stuns, right? So if your Coddle, like, walks too close, you just die immediately, which is what's happened. But maybe you would have learned the lesson after the first time, I'm not sure. Third time's the charm, we'll see. But yeah, actually, Zemistry going for the kill. He gets out the last word. It's going to pop on the Quap, but yeah, okay. I mean, doesn't even have the blink, even if she wanted to get away and risk that spell, but definitely getting bullied out by the Silencer right now. Feels like they just had to pick something because they weren't sure if it was going to be the mid laner or something else, and this is the result of just good drafting by Nebula.
Yeah. Oh.
That's not
last
going to
word.
quite do enough. Level 1. Even Fairy Fires to make absolutely sure, but 100 health left over is pretty fine, and has the Salve as well. So, I mean, the Quap's staying in the lane. That's some kind of win, but spending a lot of money on regen, it looks like.
Yeah, and the more times you get W, the less your base damage is as well. Like it's the snowball effect.
Well, your Nemo Gubala, actually the next victim on bottom lane of this tri lane going in. It was the Dire who forced this try on try situation, but it's not working out for them right now. They are 0-3 right now. Can't even get the retaliatory kill on Spag, and I mean, just the damage and control coming out of the Radiant tri lane is way higher. The Slark's weak laning phase is just getting amplified here.
Yeah, you don't want to be a Slark in a tri lane. Generally, it's very sad.
What? Yeah, it makes it strange that they drew it up like this. Like, they moved the Timbersaw to the top lane immediately. They did not respond to some laning.
Quap?
Okay, they're going back in, actually. Quap's dead under the tower, but meanwhile, the bottom lane, the Slark's actually going in aggressive. They're trying to kill RYM on the Monkey, but he's just monkeying around right now, completely fine. Actually, no, sorry, goes back in, seemingly giving up on his life, trying to kill MBTW. I thought he might have been able to slip away there, but without the mischief, maybe just decided to try and force a trade, and does so. There is an exchange of lives. I think you can afford to maybe give up a death given the lane was already going well, but that's something back for the Dire. And maybe they can get Henlord if this... No.
Nah, level 1. Should be fine.
Oh, I thought the Slark might even walk in as well. He does have the pounce back up, but he wasn't even interested, which is fair enough. Zemistry's actually getting kind of low in mid. Only has some tangos on him.
Now that you're level 5 though, it's 2 N per hit. It's just so strong.
Yeah, he feels very confident right now.
Yeah, even this low, like, Squap has got to be very scared.
She just doesn't have the nuke damage yet to finish him. Like, she has 2 points in Shadow Strike as well, so there's just no burst, and Zemistry knows that, like, in any fight longer than a second, he's winning the trade.
Yeah. Definitely.
2 autos. Yeah, speaking of autos, the top lane right now is really just a boring slap fight, but the Pangolier is getting a lot of farm compared to what you normally expect for an offlane Pango, and again, I'm interested in the wisdom of this Six Amaris Timber. He is top of the farm right now as RWM gets another kill bottom. They might even line up more, or they might trade Spag. Spag's gonna get traded. Good pounce by Gubala to finish things off. They avoid the Monkey King who managed to proc his Jingu. Bottom lane's kind of evening out now, it seems like, for the Dire with Gubala getting these kills.
Yeah. Yes, not looking too bad. Pretty even.
But yeah, are they still fighting? They will not let me talk about top lane. I just want to look at the boring lane where 2 melee heroes are hitting each other. There's kills happening. No, okay. Looks like bottom lane has come down for a moment. I just wanted to ask, what do you think of this Timbersaw, right? Because this does seem like this is what they were trying to set up, specifically this solo lane Timber. How does it pay off?
I mean, it's a good Timbersaw game, right? Other than the Silencer. The Silencer's really going to chunk this up. Oh, Quap was like 20 HP mid, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Silencer is going to chunk the Timber, so I'd say it's not going to fare too well going to the mid game. Although, oh no.
No, I mean, he is playing under Friffles' tower. Friffles getting quite low here. I mean, disarming the Timber doesn't do much to him. Doesn't quite have the cooldown back on his ultimate yet. Now he does go for the kill. Friffles has the wand available, actually baiting really hard here. The Timber's trapped under the tower. Oh, that's a nice chain to get out of tower range, but Friffles knows exactly his limits. Really playing around the hero right now, but unfortunately risked a bit too much and dies. Meanwhile, at bottom lane, there's a snowball that keeps things alive and ensures the trade goes in favor of the Radiant. That's just finishing off Gubala. There's the Slark dying again, and in mid lane, the Quap, I mean, also staying alive for now, but only by giving up the lane, essentially. Falling really behind on CS to Zemistry, so this is a bully job in mid as well. And Arme might be forfeit on the bottom lane as Spag spells come off cooldown. Great Boundless Strike again. RYM has been super proactive in leading with this Boundless Strike to make sure these kills get set up, and it's torn this bottom lane apart for the Dire. They're still reaping the rewards now as they pop the tag team, walk in, finish the cuddle. I mean, MBTW is trying to tangle on the Jakiro. He's normally a tanky hero in the early game, but against these 3 heroes, with the tag team active, with the Jingu available, and more control from the shards, he's just another body bag. 9-3, most of the action in bottom lane, and no lane changes forthcoming from the Dire.
Yeah.
I guess they can't really do anything to change it up. Like,
Oh, really? I mean, you could put the Timbersaw down there, I suppose, but it's not like the Slug's gonna fare well against this Pango at this
Over
point.
level Pango, yeah.
Yeah, level 6 just level 4.
So I guess they're just looking to end the laning phase as soon as possible and leverage this. Because like by forcing this try versus try, right, your Timbersaw is winning his lane and he's over leveled compared to everyone else on the map. So what can Maris do to capitalize?
It's all on Maris right now, really. Yeah, he's gotta find some move to do. But I mean, he's taking the top tower, which is nice.
Yeah.
Slowly.
I think maybe after he takes the top tower, that's when we see, like, if this is the Digital Chaos playbook, you do want to move into the off lane at some point, right? And maybe put the Slug and the support up there to discourage aggression, get him some farm.
Yep, sounds good. Zem is just an absolute bully in this mid lane.
Yeah.
Level 4 on the Glaives of Wisdom now, just so much damage.
Oh my, okay, straight all the way in. I mean, it makes sense. Arcane Curse isn't really a laning skill, and you don't need it to farm, so you're in mid just soaking up the creeps, but
yeah, you get
this
the
is
0
brutal.
usually.
Yeah.
Corpse back to base.
And what items do you expect out of the... Oh, so we see Friffles' teleport back. I don't think Sixer has the mana to kill him, but just ignoring the Pangolier, finishing off that tower as Timbersaw does. So this is the X factor now for the Dire, potentially, if they want to move around the map. But, yeah, what does Emistry build into now on this Silencer?
It should be the Witchblade into
Mid-tower could use a little help.
Hurricane Pike probably, and then like a BKB Hex type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more going for like just a bit of mobility and control. Don't need to worry about like stacking up, you know, damage or anything like that.
No, you naturally get damage from your W stacking. Yeah, so you just need the Witchblade. Provides so much damage and attack speed and everything, projectile speed. I mean, and then once you have that, yeah, you're so strong, so much damage.
Does seem like the item that's really starting to factor into a lot of team strategies and picks right now. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, this bag gets caught out. Great ice path, but it doesn't hold him for long enough. Only level 1. He does get the defensive snowball. Might even hold the Slugstill for long enough to get the Jingu. ROM capitalizes, makes sure with the Boundless Strike that he gets that lifesteal proc off. Spag is going to die, and actually the Monkey, even with the Jingu now, might be in too deep. He has to walk back. Gubala's trying to work out how to make the aggression work here. Does force out the ult, and as soon as he sees that cast, just leaves. Like, that was his objective all along. He knew he could get that ultimate out of the MK, and it is a prize. Now, especially, well, actually, the Quappers rotators, they're going to immediately try and follow up now that that's on cooldown. Yeah.
Should just dive here, use the Boundless Strike already.
Sonic Waves available. Can't find the Monkey in the trees, though. Quap's looking for OIM. Oh, this is starting to get a little bit bad. MBW dies and chased off this massive Radiant reaction.
And
that was huge hesitation by the Quap there. Yeah, the tips come out. That's brutal.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, you blinked, you felt confident he was there. Surely you aren't expecting to just see the MK right on top of you. Just throw your spells.
Yeah, I think you just have to commit early there. Very interesting.
He's gone 3-1-1-1, so maybe level 1 Scream. He thought level 1 Scream and Sonic Wave isn't going to get the job done by itself. But,
yeah, potentially. They're just playing so aggressive now with the squad.
Yeah.
With the tower.
Radiant just roll in. I was expecting Maris to rotate and use his strength from being in that solo lane against all these underlevel trailing heroes, but it's actually Friffles on the Pangolier. Doesn't even need the roll, just cruises in, picks up a kill and some bounties. Maris is hitting the tower. Well, now he's teleported, but it's a bit late.
Nice
H4 just getting aggressive on the mid Quap. It's bag as well. They're just going to take him down.
Yeah.
Tag team making the support Lena hit like a truck. Nice little combo there.
Yeah. Zim's farming out top, going in for that Witchblade, as I said.
Yeah.
MK is going Diffusal Blade this game. I like it. That's the Timbersaw and the Slug. Mana-hungry heroes.
Item. They're still trying to set up on this Radiant Tier 1 at bottom. I mean, it'd be good to get that off the map, but I feel like Gubala is really exposed in this lane, and the top half of the map seems very open right now. You surely want to get some farm up on the Slug.
Yeah, I think he needs to get out of the red zone, you know?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Lena actually just gets solo mid by Sixer on the Timbersaw. So look, credit to Sixer, definitely using what the team's given him.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting in a hectic performance so far, but...
Looks like he might be the target of aggression here. Zemistry's cruising in with Spag. He has the Quap in support, but she isn't feeling that big a presence right now, and actually, yeah, they buy just enough space to both retreat, so I guess that's a win. Looking to go bottom now. The Pangolier is already ready, though, so Sixer's going to have to hustle it down. Line up against his opposite number. Friffles is just walking all the way in. He fears so little on this team. Like, there's no control to stop the roll from coming off mid-fight. Just going to get it now. And that's an instantly dead Slug. Jesus, the Lacuna Blade destroys that fragile carry. Oh my god. Yeah. That was just kind of like a 2v3. it feels like. Sixer does kill RYM, though. I missed that.
Yeah, wow. Wait, is that a... Oh, wow, he solo killed him.
Yeah,
Man,
just solo
Sixer
killed the monkey.
Maris.
I mean, maybe he was on a tree.
Yeah, he must have
Right.
cut the tree. It astonishes me how Sixer Maris didn't get picked in the draft phase of this tournament. Just one of the best on the server.
Yeah, that's a funky one. But I mean, look, maybe this is the play, right? You come into the league late on Team Redacted, and I'm not saying that like Six is not committed to this squad, but I mean they're starting the league with the bottom standing. Okay,
Yeah.
so you see Ame actually dying down the bottom lane. We'll have to leave that speculation for later. Friffles is in super deep right now. Maybe he's finally found his limits on the Pangolier. Does not have the role available, but it may not need it. Spag's the one who rolls in. Morphball boys here. Okay, Spag, unfortunately, as the support gets clipped by Ice Path, he looks like he's going to take the death that Pangolier would have otherwise, but saves his core. In fact, Sixer using all of that power in the bottom lane. He's under the tier 3 right now, trying to get a follow-up solo on the Monkey King, but I mean, you can only make so much magic happen. Now Friffles has the rolling thunder. Sixer just ukes the Orcs in a tight circle, gets the chain away. He might live. I mean, he's not out because Friffles has the mana to chase the high ground. RYM also pursuing, gets the Boundless Strike. He's resisting the physical damage, but he surely goes down, and he's got the urn on him as well, so that regen is just not what it would be, and finally dies to the Primal Spring of all things. Close. I mean, they tip him. It seems a bit unfair.
Anything to get in an enemy team's head, dude.
Yeah, he's trying to get the whole team on his back right now, but I mean, he does find his limit there. Like, he overextends all the way under the tier 3, and he feels pressured to do these super heroics because the rest of his team are just really struggling right now.
Yeah. The pressuring in bottom again.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
But RYM's here, he's got a defusal.
A big ult from RYM. They might get out. Nice ice path by MBTW, sort of cuts off the Monkey King's attempt to start a fight. And I mean, this is a couple of Monkey ults so far. The commands haven't been really netting much. Here's the global. Can they turn?
Pop's dead. Yep.
Yeah, okay, they capitalize on the quap. I was about to say, this is a very proactive silence that they're teleporting in, but it's actually the mid. This is the secondary fight right now, but they still get the enemy carry. Gubala goes down. They do trade off for this Lina, who is a bit of a prize right now, has a lot of kills, but now the supports are going to get mopped up by Monkey King and Friffles. Ame is sticking around, even loyalty to MBW, trying to save the Jakiro, but surely just needs to bail out. Six is arriving just a bit late to these fights, it seems like, if he's coming at all, which is odd, because this is surely Timbersaur's peak of power in the game, and whether it's because he's afraid of the silence or not, he just isn't arriving where it matters most. Watches him come right there. Yeah.
I just feel like this game's gonna start to snowball out of control here very soon.
Yeah.
They're getting these items that, like the defusal, the Pango's Orbit Corrosion, and we'll see where he goes next. But yeah, they have a lot of mobility, a lot of catch, and a lot of damage right now. That's all you need.
It's starting to look a lot like game 1 of the previous series, where there's one really huge hero on the side of the Dire, but unfortunately, since everyone else is so little of a threat, they can just itemize against Sixer. And Sixer's going to make his weight felt. He kills off Friffles. That's like the 3rd big kill streak they've picked up on this Timbersaur, so the commitment to feeding Maris is complete, right?
Dude,
the rest of the heroes are literally dying.
This guy is a monster, man. This is a first pick Timbersaur as well.
Yeah, he's just carving him up.
Maris is just...
Actually, speaking of getting carved up, just feeds a kill back the way of Rim and Spag.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, her whole team was right there as well.
Silencer gets the nice ag shot now as well at 20 minutes, allowing you to actually farm and scale really fast. The bounce on the glaives, which is really nice. The bounced glaives actually steal int as well if it's in the team fight and they hit 2 heroes. Yeah, it's really strong.
Sickening. Yeah, I mean, Zemistry flying along right now. He's being quiet so far in the game, right? Just offering a little bit of global presence with that silence. But now the ult's level 2, the cooldowns are getting shorter. Has that Witchblade you mentioned, he's actually queued up a Blink.
Interesting,
That's
yeah.
Very
like
aggressive item.
Yeah, he's so far ahead that why not, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It'll let him destroy this backline, right? Like the Jakiro and stuff, we've kind of been surviving at least a while in these fights, getting off some good ice pass and stuff. Not going to happen. If Silence just blinks on you, he's going to like 2-shot these heroes.
Yeah.
As RYM just pump fakes and then misses the tower kill. Good stuff.
Yep.
Maybe just some swag there that I don't understand because my brain's too small. Meanwhile, Sixer going about his tower killing in a more slow, methodical fashion. That's kind of how Timbersaur has to do it. He's protecting this catapult from Friffles. Even has Ame as backup, right? So they are trying to like back Maris up a little bit if he gets dived on, but the Radiant, they don't care that much about the Timber at this point. They're operating at a pace that they're going to naturally outscale and out-itemize him. And so their team is grouped up around their next objective, which appears to be the tier 2 mid. Maybe just the enemy triangle. Oh, actually, no, Sixer is the target now. Friffle's rolling, thundering in. RYM is there as well to capitalize. I mean, he avoids the stun, but cuts off the Timber Chain. He went for it to try and get out of the Wukong's command, but there was just enough duration left on the stun. Actually, if they have a follow-up, there's no Boundless Strike. The Global won't cancel that, so he gets out on the Timber, but unfortunately, that means the rest of his team are without their strongest core. They might just manage to escape with low casualties and call that a win. Does Arme count as low casualties? I think he does. Oh, he actually conjures the 6 and Maris Timbersaw back into the fight. That's what the Cuddle's here for. Just make sure your one-man army is present as often as possible. And so they recall him in. Immediate retreat from Friffles and company. I mean, he might not be so lucky. The Pangolier looks like he's going down now.
Oh, slug.
Kubala,
With the clip.
typical team fight contribution, picks up a valuable core kill. I mean, they really need to spread the gold around. So that's actually great play.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we've got the H-Lord Lenas in real deep.
Oh, yeah, he got cut. He got cut.
No, wait, again? Surely not. You can't just
yours
solo
as
dive
well.
Timber like this. Yeah, well, it's not going to be a solo death. But
Yeah, wow, Maris, man.
he,
Season 1 finalist. Just the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see the limits of this hero, I guess. This is, you know, classic Timbersaw, right? How far ahead can you get and what can you do with it? He is doing stuff, but far outs. His Quap is really struggling. Behind the Lena on net worth, which is emphasized by H-Lord, just flat out killing her in the mid lane. Not sure what you do from here. At least Quap is a hero that, you know, is sometimes played support. You offer some utility, just flat nukes that can be helpful in a fight, but it's a pillar of their lineup that's on the ground right now.
Bottom tower.
Maris straight back on that bot tower.
Yeah. I mean, what else is he to do, right? It looks like they are just in the full-on let's stall until our Slark at least gets item phase of the game.
You know
Yeah, seems like it. This MK, I mean, he's not having the best game either, so he's died a few times.
Yeah.
This game's
actually,
by no means too far gone or anything. Like, this is still pretty close here.
yeah, I hadn't clicked on RAM for a while, but those solo deaths of the Simsor have hurt so much, right? Like, you mentioned the Diffusal Blade he was going for ages ago. Hasn't really improved on that.
No, I mean, usually MK goes for the Maelstrom or the Battle Fury, right? Like a farming
item.
But he hasn't. He's gone for this Diffusal, which is aggressive, but could get punished here if they lose some fights.
Yeah. I mean, in some
farmed
ways
as
it already
well, but
hurts.
usually you want to be more active on the Silencer. I'd like it if he'd fight a bit more rather than hitting creeps, just to stack up that end, that kind of stuff. The MK farm.
Maybe they're just confident that he's like, we're far enough ahead that as long as I'm outscaling and I go to late game, like you mentioned, the Silencer damage is terrifying eventually, so he's trying to make sure they reach there instead of, you know, going aggressive as the MK is and getting punished as the MK is, but bit of split focus between the team right now when you got some people forcing fights and dying. Now Zemistry's going in, and they capitalize, they immediately lock down the Quap with the Global and Killer. Has the 4-staff as well, so ended up shelving the Blink for now, although he does have it queued up again for more mobility, and it's essentially just scooting in to get that kill.
This Quap is having a bit of a shocker, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it looks like they've picked up a weakness and they are now just targeting her for all she's worth, really taking her out of the game.
Yeah. Very rough.
Rolls more to keep himself safe than anything else, but looks like they'll try and turn into a kill. Oh, unfortunate Pangolier accident. Gets stuck on the wall. But maybe he gets his kill on the Jakiro setup. Spag rolls in, has no mana, has no punch available. Now it'll be ready. Doesn't actually need it. H-Lord is just quietly lifting the whole game up on this lane up. Punishing the Timber as well. The magic damage. Zemistry's destroying him. But, the Yules is such a good time to save there. Six is just doing it all.
Yeah.
And Gubala is capitalizing now. They're feeding gold back to this Slark.
Oh my god, it's a triple.
That's... It's
Gubala
starting to become legitimately bad. You can't do that.
Yeah. Dude, Maris is just the king of making space this game. It's ridiculous.
He's
doing it all.
Chemistry there. Like, that's not particularly easy to do. You mentioned Zem's played a really measured game, but maybe now feeling the pressure as his team fails aggression to get involved and gets way too involved there on the Silencer. Can't get back out of that situation.
A little bit. Maybe they're getting a bit frustrated now. It seems like it, at least.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5k gold up at 20 minutes, which isn't terrible, and the gold's in good places, but they don't have a tier 2 tower. There's a lot of counter push on the enemy team. They're killing this Quap over and over, but at some point, that kind of loses its luster, and she has her Yules finished finally now, so she'll be a slightly harder kill, maybe buy a bit time, maybe get some trades when you go for her next.
Yeah. I mean, no need to panic. They're 5k up. They're cruising. No. It's just that maybe psychologically they're feeling a bit pressured, you know?
Yeah. We should be winning more.
Yeah, exactly, because they've dominated this early game and now they're kind of struggling a little bit and they might be wondering why, why that's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I like if the decision is just to focus a bit more on farming in the space they have, I don't hate that, right? Like, this Monkey King is going to make sure that his item progression doesn't stop at Diffusal Yasha.
Yeah.
Good.
Spag.
Well, yeah, it looks like... I mean, they tried to stop the Monkey King's item progression, but Spag is going to tank the gank for his team, it looks like. Snowball Sixer manages to avoid the Ice Path, just a bit slow to come out there, and now they're able to drop down the Global, covering the Wukong ultimate. I mean, this ends up being... Yeah, that's the team fight the Radiant want, even if they only kill Sixer.
Slack on the backline.
He's the whole team. He's in deep, though. Like, his team are not able to stop him, right? They don't have the mobility. They're just going to have to smuggle Gubala out of this fight. The Quap cannot be his going deep buddy, and Sixer is dead. It's an organized retreat. They're trying to let anyone but the Slark die. Quap actually blinking into more danger. Does line up a great Sonic Wave to defend that ramp. And they do succeed in getting Gubala out of that fight. So this Slark, who had a pretty rough early game in that tri-lane situation they cooked up, they are at least, you know, doing everything they can to re-enable him. And as a result, actually briefly makes it back to the top of the net worth chart.
Yeah. Zem's got that level 15 talent, the 2 permanent intel steal, so now it's 4 per kill instead of 2. It's really nice.
Oh. Yeah, already
really
has 20
nice.
permanent.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looks like Redacted kind of stopped the bleeding at the right time, right? It did look like Silence was just going to snowball all over this game, and now, because Silence is not the fastest farmer, like, does have that shard up, but, you know, you can still get outscaled, and I wonder whether Zemistry's going to regret not being more aggressive, as you said.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. Yeah, Gubola, he's really crept up in net worth here, hasn't he?
Yeah, lucky that his life or death in that last team fight felt really big, but the Dire played very well to just realize when he was in way too deep and just bail him out with all hands. So
yeah,
if they can keep doing that, I can see the Slark doing well in the game, but there's still a lot of counters, like we said, and I feel like the Timbersaw has to fall off soon, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, he needs to get this BKB because you saw he melted that last fight.
Yeah, speaking of falling off, actually, Spag, this is starting much like the last fight. The Quap goes in the backline, she's hunting the Lina, they're not getting distracted by Spag this time. H-Lord's been such a problem in these fights, putting out way more damage than he should probably let a support do, and he will be just fervently punished for that Sonic
Spag.
time.
What?
Yeah, this fight's completely spread out. Spag is in
Oh
so
my
deep.
god, how did
Chemistry is fighting 2 heroes mostly alone. Now he has Friffles as help. Friffles is just waiting for the Timbersaw to come down. He comes down from the Yules. This time it's not his savior. He falls into the Monkey King ult and the Pangolier ult and dies. Gubala's staying alive with the help of that Shadow Dance and manages to escape again. But yeah, I think the sign that your Slark just keeps ulting and running out of fights without doing anything is a sign that you should think twice about engaging. And they went in so deep for that Lina there. It gave the whole Radiant team time to rotate.
Yeah.
Now they're going to get Roshan.
Okay, now Zem is really scary. With this 36 permanent stolen, 51 temporary, it's just he can chunk down this Rosh.
Christ. I apologize for the caster curse on Redacted. They feed a bunch of int to that silencer, and now the snowball may have begun rolling again. I'm not talking about Spag's W either.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I mean, there's some items that help. Like, Ame actually has a, Ghost Scepter up on this Coddle, has the Philostone running as well. So it's good when you're behind like this. It's a good sign to see the support's not completely underfarmed and destroyed, because they're just going to need some hit points on him to survive. But, oh, he may not survive. This actually does live thanks to those stats.
Didn't give him the click
from H-Lord. Yeah,
just gave him the click there.
Yeah. I don't know if it was scared of retaliation or just being too cool to finish the job, but yeah, Laguna Blade does not get it done, and Gubala, he's back to farming. I mean, based on how the last fight went, this is the correct play, right? Like, was not confident to go in as this Slark, needs more items. I don't know whether you can scale fast enough that they'll, like, change the picture, but I don't know. Better than throwing yourself into losing fights, I guess.
Yeah. This Coddle here does like to get farmed. Scales really well with the Q, just shoving out the waves all the time, so you will get items. The Ags, the Will-O-Wisp, really strong.
How big is that?
Really strong, yeah.
We've all seen what that ult can do. Obviously, it only recently became an Ags upgrade, and if they have that, their team fight starts to look really solid. Even with this Quap, I mean, she's been shot down so thoroughly, she's essentially a support at this point, but
yeah,
maybe Sixer and Gubala can do it alone.
Yeah, well, they need that double BKB first. It's going to be mostly on the...
Sixer's very close.
On the Slark and the Timber here, so we'll see. The Quap has pretty much no relevance anymore. He's just going in for the Ags. It
feels like, I mean, the Ags is what that's going to do seemingly is max out her ability to farm waves. Like, and just be a map control hero, right? Like, even if you can't really be a threat in team fights, at least you can make sure the team fights happen in the right places, keep vision up, that sort of thing. Because at this point, may as well take advantage of the fact that you've died so many times and you're expendable. Just get in those dangerous spots so that Maris doesn't have to.
Radiant's top towers taken in.
Yeah, it is a bit tough to see H-Lord just effortlessly outscaling the enemy mid on this Lina support. Has the Aether Lens now on top of the cast range talent, so we're dealing with
today, right?
Yeah, it does seem to be a strong trend, right? Strong predictor of winning when your 4-out farms their mid laner.
Yeah. Statistical analysis right there.
Yeah, that's why I'm in the play-by-play chair.
Yeah.
I mean, these super long-range Lina stuns, though, they do make a big difference when it comes to these team fights, because you have heroes like Slark and Timber and Quap that are relying on being able to jump out on reaction.
Quap could die mid here.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's the follow-up stun. Nice. Yeah, multiple long-range stun options now as Spag has the blink available. That was what led to Quap's death there, and really just kind of announcing the area outside your high ground is not safe at all.
They've got the double BKB, but the Slark has no TP. I'm not sure if he... Oh, they have got a recall in them, so...
Yeah, Cuddle really coming in hot. We've only seen a couple of recalls, so they've been big ones. So that's the double BKB ready, as you asked for. Do they take a fight now, or is that just kind of their insurance policy?
Maybe wait the stages if you can, potentially.
Right, yeah.
Dude, Zem is a turret now, dude. Like, he has the attack range talent and the pike at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just, he's like a sniper now.
He's become... Yeah.
It's just... he's like a sniper now.
He's become